that's good, man. I said I was gonna stop drinking this year, and fuck, here we go.
Dude, yeah, like I never really like loved alcohol. I like weed. I like weed a
Okay.
lot. Like that's my thing. But like I think like the main thing I don't like about alcohol is I'm a pussy, and like every time I have more than 2 drinks, I throw up, and I can't do throwing up like, at all.
Yeah, man, I think I wanna stop drinking. Just every time I drink, I wake up and then the hangover it's just like, oh fuck, I don't
Never
wanna.
blackout.
No, but like if I drink, the next day it's not the same. I'm like struggling, and then usually when I wake up from a night of drinking, I'm like I'm never drinking again, which is what I said this morning, because I drank yesterday,
The beer's so
and
awesome.
and now I'm drinking again here. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Do you think it like goes hand in hand with comedy for you, or is it like are they separate things? Like, do you not like to get drunk before you get on stage?
Do you start this already?
I'm recording. Yeah.
Oh,
If
okay.
I'm gonna send
Cool.
it to you, and if like you don't like anything,
Oh,
I'll-
okay. No, that's fine.
Yeah.
I don't care. I was just like, oh, if we're talking, maybe we should
Yeah.
start.
No.
But no, I mean, I try not to drink before I go up, but lately I've been having at least like one or two drinks. Especially, I don't know, man. I feel like having a drink lets me be a little bit more like loose, and in a way like be a little bit more excited about like going up.
Yeah. Get you a little pumped
Yeah, or like a little bit more excited. I don't know.
in a good
be-
way.
Yeah, in a good way, but also I think it's bad because I am making a connection with having a drink and going up.
Yeah, dude.
And I mean, I can go up without a drink just fine, but I think it takes a little bit more of making the switch from having like a regular, I guess like a regular brain to being like funny mode, you know?
Yeah.
Like here I go, make people. But like when I as soon as I grab a drink, I'm like, okay, you know, we are like more relaxed, you know,
Chilling.
nothing too serious. But if I'm like in the back of the room and like I'm just waiting to go up, you know, and I'm just like completely sober, I'm just like waiting, and then I don't know, I guess I start to like overthink too much, like my set and all of that. But as soon
Yeah.
as I have a drink, it's like, oh, who cares? You know, we're here, like just to have fun. Like I like to. I think ideally or like lately, I've been like trying to like prepare my sets, especially if it's for like a like a serious show. I'll prepare my set, but then I wanna kind of like almost not be too like rigid about it, and then have a little bit more freedom on stage. And I think like having a drink is more like, like you planned, you're ready to go, but now let's just have fun. And
Yeah.
if you follow your set list, good, but if not, whatever. Like who cares at the end of the day? And it just, I don't know, having a drink makes me think this is not too serious. Let's just have
chill out a
fun.
little
But
bit.
again,
Yeah.
it's not a good connection to make, because then if we're doing comedy every night, it's easy to become a
Drink
like
every
a
night? Yeah.
like a fucking alcoholic. And then are we allowed to say bad words?
Oh
here?
yeah, but
Okay.
I'm not I like it's a weird area for comedy because there's just like not a lot, and like there's like a big rural population in Virginia. Like a lot of it is like fucking countryside and like nothing, and it's like that's like Magaville usually, and like a lot of the time people in cities like they're like super duper like kind of like liberal and like woke to like combat the like Trumpness of like being in the middle of nowhere. So it gets weird. Like, and like if you do stand up, it's always at a city. But like you're surrounded and you're talking to people who really like
Right.
don't care about like content at all. Like,
Yeah.
But if you go into a city, they're all college towns. Like I don't know where you are around here, but like Blacksburg is huge, and like I'm pretty sure all their rooms are very like, you know, I don't know if they have content restrictions, but it's like, do you want to argue with a college kid for like an hour
Right.
after?
Yeah.
Like, when you go up.
Well, I've been here for 3 weeks already. I haven't really done a lot of comedy.
Yeah, there's nothing.
I haven't been able to really find a lot, but I did. You know that mic where I met you. Mm-hmm. That was 3 weeks ago, right?
Yeah, through probably, yeah.
Yeah, or like 2 weeks ago or something like that.
Yeah.
And then 2 days ago, I did. They had like a show, and then I messaged him on Instagram, and he's like, "Yeah, come through," And I realized how they had a mic after, so pretty much I learned that I was part of the open mic.
Yep.
And it was whatever, it's fine going up.
Is that in Salem? Is it one of LA's shows?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He does a lot. Like, he hosts a lot of his own shows. Johnny does that one mic here every other week. Mm-hmm. And then you really have to go to, like, Blacksburg or Christiansburg, like, where Tech is, to, like, really start getting into, like, open mic territory. Okay. And they have, like, one a week. And they have, like...
Oh, really?
Yeah, this girl, Catherine, hosts it.
One a week?
It's 30 minutes from here. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, Catherine Rogue. Shouts out Catherine Rogue.
Oh, shit, there's a camera
here.
I didn't even realize.
That's my phone. Yeah, he's like a...
Good, man. That's all you need. I like this setup. It's, simple, nothing too crazy, you know? I feel like some podcasts try to go too crazy at the beginning.
No, I'm an idiot. Like, I don't know.
No,
like,
I think you're doing the right thing, man. Start small, and then go from there. A lot of people try to like spend a lot of money up front.
Yeah.
And then realize, oh, I don't even like this, or this fucking thing sucks, or I bought the wrong equipment or whatever. But this is good, man. You're doing a good thing, and you can fit all of this in this bag or what?
Yeah, I fit pretty much everything in that bag. I bought that tripod thing from Walmart earlier.
Nice.
Or no, Best Buy. But the whole setup is. I think it was like I paid like $500 for pretty much all this, and like I don't know. If I didn't like it, you're right. I'm out $500.
So, what does this do? Does this like cleans the sound and stuff, or what?
So this is like I'm still learning it very much. So like it's got like a soundboard, so I can do like you don't have headphones on, so you won't be able to hear it. But there's like an applaud or like a drum roll thing.
Okay.
There's we got the sound levels over here. I adjusted that so I couldn't hear the bluegrass band, so I'm not gonna touch those. But then and if you go in, you can like change. There's like all effects.
That's cool.
And
well,
like,
it makes the whole thing look legit, so that's good.
It's sick. I mean, all you gotta do is press record, and it's like, I mean, it's a Tascam recorder, but fancy and big. Like, a lot of people record their podcasts on those little pocket recorder things with XLR inputs. That's basically the same thing. It's just
I'm thinking about maybe starting a podcast. So
you should. I mean, I'm on episode 2. Congratulations, but
thank you, man. Thank you.
But I like it, and it's like for you, it'd be a good tool just because you're in Austin, and like I feel you're like already in. Like I think the only thing you're really like missing out on, you're like it's a podcast, and it's a huge opportunity for you there.
Yeah.
But like here, it's like the only opportunity I have to get on a mic. Like I can't.
Oh yeah.
I can. So I was saying, there's a one in Christiansburg or Blacksburg, I think, that Catherine hosts, and then.
So how many mics are you doing a week here, like in this area?
I try to hit at least 2 a week.
Oh really?
And that's hard sometimes. Like I can do.
I was not able to find anything. Like I haven't been able to. Yeah. I guess I didn't like really. Try to find at another city.
No, I mean it took me like a while to get to where I could find 2 a week. So I come. This is about every other week. For some reason, they haven't like booked it for this month yet. Mm-hmm. But I do one every week in Charlottesville that this guy Chris Allen hosts, and like that's the best mic I've ever been to anywhere, like ever. It's incredible. Like I get excited about it when I tell people about it. Like especially like a guy from like the Mothership. It's like I think even you, like a guy who goes to Kill Tony, would see like this mic in like the middle of fucking nowhere and be like, whoa, like
it's a good mic.
30 people, yeah, like a lot of the time show up because it's like such a central area. It draws in like a lot of people from surrounding places. Yeah.
So are you thinking about doing comedy? Like you want to do it full time? You want to go all in?
I'm trying. Like, so my last year I did my attempt at like my version of, trying to do comedy as much as I could. I can't say full time because I'm an open micer and I halfway like suck ass at it.
Yeah, but
like,
what I mean is, you wanna really like do it every night if you can.
yeah, no, I'd like
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
Spencer, that guy from Charlottesville, he moved to Austin not that long ago. I'd love to move to a place like that or just a town like it used to be Richmond. They would have that was a spot you could do 5 or 6 mics a week.
I think I know Spencer. I think we were talking maybe last weekend because I actually went back to Austin for the weekend last
Nice.
weekend.
Yeah.
So I believe it was him because he was like, "Oh yeah, Mitchell." So
Yep.
maybe it was him, right? It has to be him.
Gotta be, dude. Yeah,
Yeah,
if it
yeah,
was,
yeah.
he's the only person I know in Austin right now.
And then I
for
was
sure.
like, "Oh yeah, I think I met Mitchell." So
Yeah, Spencer's cool as shit. He's a guy I saw him like. So when he was at the mic in Charlottesville, he's another guy that came like every week, and he was good there. But like ever since he came back and did a show with me, probably in October, and he'd only been out there for like a couple months at that time, and he's 10 times better than he was when he was here, just because of like the amount of comedy he's able to do.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like if of course, people, I feel like people know about this, but yeah, if you move to Austin, you can probably go. I think my record is like 7 times in one night.
7 in a night.
Yeah, 7 in one night. But I guess for new people, it's probably a more it's maybe harder to go up that many times because you have to like sign up at the mics, and sometimes it's a long wait because there's so many comics. But I would say you could at least do 3 mics in one night
That's fucking.
in Austin, like from Monday through fucking Sunday. Every night you could do at least 3 mics.
And are they all like pretty comedian friendly? Like I know in like LA, a lot of places will charge for open mics.
Yeah, no,
Like,
you're right. They're completely free in Austin.
wow.
And just like in any scene, some mics are better than others. Some mics are just only comics in the audience. Some mics are garbage, like there's no one there.
Yeah.
But yeah, other mics are great. Other mics have like fucking like real humans, and some mics are packed. So like
Yeah.
if you go to Austin, I feel like the Mothership open mic is obviously great, but I feel like that one for open micers is probably seen more, or like for comedians, probably seen more as an audition, really.
Yeah.
Because you get to do 3 minutes, but then they have the booker of the Mothership, Adam Eget. He sits in the back and he watches all the comics go up, and if he really likes you, whatever, he might like talk to you, and
You met Adam Egan.
yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, I haven't really talked to him a lot, but I try to not kind of like don't bother too much, so I don't really. Yeah, maybe I need to be a little bit more open because I barely like say like hi or anything because he's just like focused like watching the comics or whatever, and I don't want to feel like I'm like in his way. But yeah, so I met him through the open mic at Mothership, which is every Sunday and Monday.
Yeah.
They have 2 mics. And they obviously have Kill Tony going on, which is probably the biggest thing going on right now as far as like live podcasts and like people our age, and everybody who really likes comedy. I feel like they watch Kill Tony.
Did Kill Tony, like when you were on there, did that change stuff for you? Like did it make it easier to get on shows, or did it was it a slow roll? It was just like the start.
Yeah, so I mean, I did Kill Tony once, episode 588 with Brian Simpson, and but yeah, I mean the short answer is yes, in a way. I went up and I had a great set, and then especially after like my set came out, local comics were like booking me and stuff like that, But yeah, so I guess the short answer is yes. Maybe it wasn't like a huge change because it's not like I won like the golden ticket or became like the new regular or something like that. But yeah, I had a really good set. I got some bookings out of that. I got booked at some local shows. But but yeah, no, it was a great experience. I didn't know I was going up at Kill Tony because I
Really?
signed up. I put my name in the bucket. But at the time, it was run at Vulcan Gas Company, which is a local venue there. I think it's mainly like for actually like music.
Yeah.
But then when Joe Rogan and Tony and those guys moved to Austin, they were looking for places to do comedy, so they started doing comedy out of Vulcan Gas Company. So then Kill Tony also started going off there. Anyway, that was a long fucking thing to say.
Yeah.
But I was on this. I remember I was on the second floor. I was drinking with a fellow comic. He works at Vulcan Gas Company. So I was in when you do Kill Tony as a comic, you sign up, and at Vulcan, you used to wait at this corner, kind of like I don't know how to pronounce that word.
Yeah.
Segregated, from like everyone, like
Yeah.
in a corner,
It's a lot of R's and G's.
But that day, I think I was like drinking with Mason Smith. Shout out to Mason. And he works at Vulcan, so we just went there, and he was like, "Oh, just follow me, man." We were like very like kind of like tipsy, I guess, and then we went upstairs. Anyways, I hear, "Oh no, that our last bucket pool, right?"
Yeah.
So the last bucket pool went off, and then Tony goes, "Oh, we're gonna go one more time to the bucket or whatever." And then, I'm pretty drunk, and then I just hear my name, and it's just like, holy shit, and then I go down,
You got pulled up drunk.
Yeah.
Nice.
But it was fun, man. It was really fun. Yeah, I mean, Kill Tony is becoming, it's really growing exponentially, which is
Yeah, it's huge.
a word I refuse to use in a comedy setting. But yeah, man, it's getting huge. As you saw, we just did an arena New Year's Eve.
Did you go to the arena show?
I did not. I really wanted to go. I was supposed to go, of course, but anyway, yeah, my mom was going through some stuff,
Gotcha.
but she's fine now. She's dead. No, she's fine.
I was about to say, join the fucking team, Francisco. I got a dead mom. too.
She's fine now, but she was going through some stuff, and I just had to go to visit her and be with the family. But yeah, I really wanted to be there for New Year's. I heard it was a great time. And do you follow Kill Tony at all, but you have an idea of what it is, right?
When it was like, yeah, I do. Like, I'm a fucking nerd. I watched it like when it was at the store, and like they had the like Jeremiah and Joel in the band. Like that was like, I think that I got like butthurt when he moved to Austin and left the band behind. But like I still listen to it, but just not nearly as much as I used to. 'Cause I just like I love the show. I love Tony Hinchcliffe, but like I go to open mics all the time. Like the process of watching people bomb like hurts me now instead of like being entertained.
Yeah. Well, I see some people, they sign up to do comedy just for the first time at Kill Tony, and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
That's the worst fucking idea ever. Yeah.
Also, like, there's lots of comics who move to Austin or who are just maybe traveling to Austin just to see if they can, make it, or at least, show some face on YouTube and be able to get some legit, like shows out of that. And they're really like patiently waiting to be called. And they go like week after week. And then, when someone who hasn't even tried comedy ever just signs up and completely, eats a bag of dicks, it's like, oh, fuck, that could have been someone who really wants to be a comedian.
Yeah.
So that kind of sucks, I guess, for comics. But in a way, for the show, it's also funny because it's like, oh yeah, this is you thought you could do it. This is not that easy, even though the real pros like Shane Gillis, those guys, Theo Vaughn, Tony, they make it seem so easy. But yeah, it's also funny. Yeah, see someone who's never done comedy go up and just completely eat it. Or sometimes they do good, which is very surprising. But yeah, man, I don't know. Like in Austin. Really, if you are a comic, it's an entire thing. Everybody, all the comics, we are always just talking about comedy, talking about what's going on. Everybody's thinking about new jokes, about writing stuff, and
Yeah.
It's every night you go out, you know.
Did you ever go through a phase where you bombed a lot?
Uh,
Right at the beginning?
always, huh?
Yeah.
Not bombing a lot, but yeah, for sure, man. I mean, I still bomb a lot. Um, I wouldn't say on purpose, but I do go to open mics, and I feel a little bit more free for just throwing shit against the wall.
Yeah.
So, like before, when I started comedy, which I haven't been doing comedy for a long time. This is my year number 6, so I've been doing it for 5 years. But you know, I was more like self-conscious about like, oh, what the other comics are thinking about me, or who might be in the room, or you know, oh, that comic, he books a show, so let me do my A material or whatever, and also like I was way more afraid of like trying a new joke, and then if it bombed, you know, whatever, I would like feel bad, or. But now I just see it as an open mic, and really is, yeah, just like who cares? Like just if you thought it was funny, you wrote it or you thought about it, just try it, because I think the only way to really get better and improve and move to the next level is you just have to try shit, work new shit out, or even you know, your strong material, try to do it differently in different ways. Maybe add some lines, maybe eliminate some words, eliminate some lines. It takes work, but I mean that's what it's fun about it, because you have to try it. So like you don't want to be going to a open mic and always doing your same material. You can, but I don't think you're gonna grow or really like improve a lot if you're always just doing the same shit.
Yeah, you get that like a lot here because people, like, you get to do comedy once a week a lot of the time, depending on where you live. But a lot of people will try to perfect like the same 5, and it's like, it's not bad at first, but then once you go to the same mic for 6 months.
Well, the thing is that I've realized, because in Austin, really, we are spoiled because we have so much comedy. So I can truly, you know, some mics are like better than other mics. So I'm able to identify like, oh, at this mic, I'm probably gonna do like 90% new stuff.
Yeah.
Then are maybe other mics where, you know, maybe they have like a legit audience, you know, it's like a big audience. I'm like, oh, maybe here I'm just gonna try, you know, out of 10 jokes, maybe 2 or 3 are gonna be new, or maybe I'm just gonna do some shit that I know works, but I'm just gonna like do it in a different way.
Yeah.
But because in Austin we've become spoiled, we have so much opportunity to go out, to do mics, to do shows. We can do that, but I feel like, I mean, I've been here for 3 weeks and I've only gone up twice.
Yeah.
And I am like a hustler when it comes to like going out and doing mics and shows, but I haven't been able to find a lot of comedy here, like for me to go up.
I'll link you some stuff. So like pretty much, Roanoke's a tough spot because it's not, like I live in Lynchburg, so I'm an hour away from Roanoke, an hour away from Charlottesville, 2 hours from Richmond, 3 from DC. So I'm not really like super far away from anywhere. But here you can get like you're 3 hours from Richmond.
Okay.
You're like 2 hours from Charlottesville, I think. Like you'd have to drive to Lynchburg to get to either of those spots. But yeah, it's tough to get up around here. You just have to really, you meet people and you hear where the mics are, and then you're like, oh, connect the dots in your head. Like that's not too far from me.
Right.
But
no, yeah, I mean, but like to your point, you know, sometimes you were saying some comics are going up and trying to like perfect their 5. Mm-hmm. I mean, I guess like in a city where you're not going up a lot, maybe that's a good idea. You know, maybe you do want to have you know, like a strong 5 for sure. I think that's every comedian's like first goal. You know, well, you know, or maybe second. The first goal is obviously to know that you're funny, to know that you're able to get laughs. But after that, I think one of the main goals should definitely be get a tight 5 minutes where you know pretty much every word that you're gonna say, and you know the timing of everything, and you know where you're getting laughs, and then you even play with okay, now I have this my tight five. Maybe now I do my closer at the beginning, or I switch my second joke to my fifth joke. So refining your five, I think that's important for a comic, because I've seen, even, in Austin, there's a lot of comedy, but that doesn't mean all the comedy is great, or all the comedians are great.
Yeah.
A lot of us are still new. We're all still learning.
Yeah.
So I've seen a lot of comics who've been doing comedy for a while, or not a while, but in the open mic world, 3, 4, 5 years, and they still don't have a 5 minutes, and they are booked at a show, and they are going, what else? What do I have? It's like, no, if you got booked for a show and you say you're doing a 10-minute set, and you've been doing comedy for 4 5 years, you should by now, you should know exactly.
Yeah, you should be able to fill 10 minutes.
No, you should have like your tight 5 or your tight 10. You should have it down.
Yeah.
And if you're not doing it at a show, I understand, because it's okay to also try some new shit at shows. But like, if I see you out of 10 shows, and all 10 shows you are kind of like winging it, I don't think you have really put the work down as far as like writing. These are my jokes. This is my opener. This is my closer. This is my punchline.
That's something that I noticed with you. I could tell, like, when you were doing your joke, it's like almost like a song. Like, you have like it's like timed out. You know the words. I heard you tell almost the same joke on Kill Tony, and it's like, it's not the same, but if you listen to any good comedian, like if you listen to a Louis in Madison Square Garden tell a joke, and you listen to him on like a USO show in Afghanistan, it sounds like the same joke.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, you have to be able to hit all the notes.
Yeah. Well, sometimes. So I think what I hate to say things, because I don't know if like a year or 5 from now I'm gonna be like, oh, I was so wrong, because I'm also like learning as I go.
That's life. Yeah.
But like, what I try to do when I do new town or new city or whatever, is like, I know which are like my strongest jokes, so I'll do those jokes just to get a sense of the audience. Because if like I have a joke that always is crushing in Austin, and then I do it at a different city, and it's not necessarily getting that response, I'm like, okay, so that's telling me that the audience here is a little different. So I feel like having like a strong joke that you can try, that you are confident and you know what response you get, and then you can try it at different places. It tells you, it gives you a really good feedback about how the audience is, gonna be for you. Because if they reacted like that for your, what you consider, some of your best material, then it's like, buckle up. It's not gonna be, a easy walk down in the park or whatever.
Yep.
But yeah, even that joke that I did on Kill Tony, I keep like, adding lines and switching words and shit like that. And yeah, man, I don't know. I feel like with some jokes, sometimes you're never over. You keep thinking, how can I, expand on this joke, or what different angle can I take?
How many times do you run a joke, like a new thing, before you ditch it? Like, if it doesn't work, do you have a set number of times, or do you work something out, and like if you have a feeling, you keep working it out until you're tired?
I feel like the key number is, like, for me, is probably 3.
Yeah.
But there's something weird with certain topics or materials, like your brain, or even like you wouldn't let it go. Like you find it like, for some way you're so attracted to this like piece of material, or like maybe you see it a certain way and you find it funny. That's why you are telling it.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's some disconnect there, that you're not able to communicate that to the audience. Maybe the audience is not able to see it the way you are seeing it. Or sometimes simply you're just wrong and it's not funny what you thought it would be funny, maybe. But yeah, back to your question. I try like 3 times, and then if I'm not getting anything, I'm like, oh fuck. I never think I delete a joke from existence like forever, but But yeah, I totally, I have jokes where at the beginning, they ate a bag of dicks the first 3 times. And then maybe 6 months after, I'm going through my notes or my recordings or something, and I'm like, oh fuck, this joke. Oh, maybe now that I have a little bit more experience or whatever, I can do it this way, and now maybe it will work. So I'll bring it back, that type of thing.
Yep.
For how long have you been doing comedy?
My timeline is weird. I started when I'm 30 now. I started when I was 25 or 26, I think.
Oh, okay.
And then I during COVID. I mean, you can imagine there was just no comedy at all. And then I got into my first long-term relationship, and it was shitty, and I was super depressed. So I didn't do comedy for probably a year and a half or 2 years, and then I got back on as soon as I saw that Mike in Charlottesville was back.
Okay.
I think there were only a handful of them before I headed back to it, but I started going back, I guess last August before last maybe, I don't know, but I've been going ever since. And then before that, I had a friend that lived in Richmond, and that's where I did comedy.
Okay.
I would stay with him and do mics there.
Yeah.
But since then, Richmond is dried up. There's there's still a ton of comedy and great comedians there, but it's not like it was with the amount of the content.
Yeah. Well, sometimes something I've realized here is all the comics, or at least the ones I've talked to, including yourself, you guys seem to be very passionate about comedy. You guys really like it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, again, I was kind of spoiled from the beginning because, I started comedy in Houston. Well, really in China. I started comedy in China, in Shanghai. So, but anyways, I did maybe about 20 mics in Shanghai, which is crazy to think that there's probably as much comedy in Shanghai than it is here in Roanoke.
That's crazy because China is notoriously there's no fucking freedom of speech in
Right.
China.
I know,
So,
and the name of the club was Kung Fu Comedy Club, and because of that freedom of speech and the government, they shut it down. So I think they moved to, I don't know if it was oh man, I don't know where, but they moved somewhere. I think they're still active.
that is crazy.
Actually, this guy Frank, what's his last name? Oh man, I wish I remember. But he is headlining tonight in Charlotte.
Really?
Yeah, and I
The
met
Comedy Zone?
No. It has a kind of a silly maybe name.
Okay.
Yeah, I can find out, But I was in my hotel here in Roanoke, and I'm like, oh fuck, I want to find comedy. So I went, looking at comedy clubs nearby and going to their websites.
Yeah.
So I saw that Frank was headlining, and I'm like, oh, I met this guy in Shanghai. So
That's crazy.
I'm like, I'm gonna send him a message, see if I can just open a feature for him, and I'll make the drive. And it's happening tonight, right now, as we speak. And he said, oh, yeah, the club, whatever, they booked their own openers,
Yeah.
So whatever, I'm not doing it. But it's kind of crazy to see that, okay, someone that I met in China and he was living there for a while, then now we are pretty much, nearby. And that being said, what I'm trying to say is comedy, I feel it's this big community, and it doesn't matter where you go. You always, if you're a comedian and you learn that there's some comedians there, there's always a way of feeling a sense of belonging, talking to others, like you, I appreciate, you calling me to do this podcast.
Yep.
So I lost my point of
No, you're
what I
good.
was trying to say.
No, I was just we were talking about.
I was spoiled from the beginning because I did comedy in China. Maybe I did 20 mics. I was living there there for work. I'm a mechanical engineer.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm trying to obviously I really would love to do comedy full time, but right now it's not paying the bills.
Yeah.
But anyways, China, 20 mics, and then I moved back to Houston, Texas. I was living in Houston. I did about 8 months in Houston, and then I got a new job in Austin. and I moved to Austin.
Did you move to Austin for was that part of the reason?
Well, I didn't move for comedy, but I always, in my mind, comedy, wherever I go, I want to be doing comedy.
Yeah.
At the time, this was before COVID, so Austin was not the scene that it is today.
Yeah.
Actually, the comedy scene in Austin was probably smaller than the scene in Houston.
That's crazy.
And really, I would say biggest killers in the scene, kind of like same level, they were probably in Houston. Mm-hmm. I remember when I started, actually, I don't know if you know who Ralph Barbosa is, but...
Barbosa sounds familiar.
Yeah, when I started comedy, I remember he won funniest person in Texas or something like that.
Okay.
So I don't know him, but I know of him since pretty much my day one, because I didn't know what that was, and then I'm like, oh shit, this guy is the funniest person in Texas, and now he just had like Netflix. He has a Netflix special, like just came out like last year. So it's crazy. Like some guys really are able to catch momentum and really get it from the get-go, and do really big things. And I'm sure he's gonna get even bigger and even funnier. But what I'm trying to say is that really good comics in Houston, the Dallas area, San Antonio, Austin, even before COVID. But then when COVID happened, and then Joe Rogan with the entire movement, Tony, all of those guys, they decided to move to Austin. Then is when I felt like I was one of the the employees at the hotel in like the White Lotus. I don't know if you saw that.
No, I haven't seen White Lotus.
Okay, so it's like I saw like everybody just get off like the ships, So I know almost like when groups of people arrive to Austin, because I was like there from the beginning.
Yeah.
But it's funny because I was never part of the old Austin comedy scene, because I was also new in Austin.
Yeah, you came like right.
Because I moved to Austin, and then almost immediately, maybe 5 months after COVID happened. So I wasn't necessarily like known within the like Austin comics, really.
Yeah.
But anyways, I forgot what I was saying.
No, you're good. I think we're just talking about like how you got started, and like the you were saying.
Yeah. So I'm taking so long to get to my point.
Oh, no, you're good.
But maybe I should not do a podcast.
No, fuck it. That's episode 2. Like the bar, there's a fucking bluegrass show going on in the background.
Right.
This isn't like nobody's home here. This is I don't live here. You don't live here.
My point is, I was spoiled since the beginning, because in Austin, you're able to do so many mics, so many spots.
Yeah. So have you done?
Like even during COVID, fucking when Rogan, Tony, and those guys moved there, they pretty much were the guys that said, fuck it, we're doing comedy, and then places started to do comedy.
So like the guys that like Ron White was already there, I guess, but the guys that moved with Rogan, did they like Brian Simpson and like Tony, and they can't? There's no way they don't hit open mics. They just only perform at the Mothership, right? Like
right. Yeah. They don't, but at Mothership every Sunday, every Monday they do the open mic, which is followed by what they call the crew show. Mm-hmm. So everybody that's a door guy at the Comedy Mothership, they go up, they do 5 minutes. It's kind of like their open mic.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And then after the crew show, they do this portion where it's like regulars or whatnot. And then sometimes, I've seen some of the big guys, show up and go up, like one time I saw Shane Gillis go up and he did like 7 minutes, Another time he did like 15 minutes. I saw Bill Burr go up and, he did like 20. I've seen Ron White go up, also do like 15, even. But I feel like they know it's an open mic and they just go there, have fun. They don't take it too serious. But yeah, something I've learned being at Mothership almost 1 year is that, the guys that are professionals, the guys that are big, Tony, Brian Simpson, all of those guys, they put the work in. They're really, they're always trying new shit. They're working different angles. And it made me realize, it's we all get so excited and we want things to happen overnight. But really, you have to put the work in. It's gonna take time. So you might as well enjoy every day and enjoy the moment, enjoy the process, and whatever that process is for you. I feel like you have to create it for you. Like you don't have a boss here really, so nobody's gonna tell you like, oh, you need to sit down and stare at a piece of paper for 2 hours from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. or whatever the fuck. Nobody's gonna tell you anything. I feel like especially at the entry level, if you don't go up that night, you quit comedy for that day unless you did something comedy related. But if you didn't do any, it's not like, oh no, I'm taking today off from comedy. Yeah, you are taking it off, but also remember for today, for these 24 hours, you have quit comedy. Yeah. Because it's not like you're like, oh, I'm taking PTO. Yeah. No, it's like no. It's up to you. So. But yeah, also I've seen some guys that take comedy like very, very serious, maybe myself included sometimes. And that's why, I like to have a drink because sometimes, comedy is all like funny business and we're trying to like make people laugh and thinking about like jokes and all this like, non-serious stuff, which tends to sometimes become very serious. Yeah. And it's like, bro, like I started comedy because it was fun. I never really started comedy because my goal was to make money or to like become like this mega star. No, I was in China. I always wanted to, try it. I also had gotten off a breakup of 5 years with my girlfriend. We lived together, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So at the time I was like, I want to try different things, but I was always attracted to comedy. And then I tried an open mic. And it was almost like a crazy drug that I didn't even know existed. And then, I'm hooked. And now when I'm doing my first mics, I'm not thinking like, oh shit, yeah, I'm gonna be famous or like I'm gonna be on Netflix, Yeah. No, man, you're doing it because it was fun. You had an adrenaline rush. You got laughs. That was exciting for you, and you want to do it again. But then what happens? I've realized, especially people around my same age, 5-6 years in, it's starting to become more like a job, of course, where we're going out every night. But then it's kind of like easy to sometimes forget, like, we should have fun, man. Like, if you're having fun, I feel like it's easier for the audience to have fun.
That's my biggest problem. Like, I get so nervous just because like it feels so heavy to only be able to do it like a couple times a week. Like you're like, every set feels important, even when they're definitely not.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah.
So you have to like. Yeah. I have to remind myself to have fun a lot of the time. I had to stop smoking weed before I went on stage because it like just made me go so far in my head, just like the opposite of alcohol. Now I like my favorite thing. I like look forward to like the joint like after doing well, like because if that like the combined like doing good at comedy plus smoking weed is just bro. It sends you into space in like it's the fun, best man. Mental state.
It's fun. I don't smoke weed, but I guess my weed is this right here. Yeah. But yeah, man, I love that feeling. Like you're saying, you go up, you had whatever, you had fun, and then you get to hang out with other comics, Yeah. So do you prepare like a set every time you go up or not really?
So it depends. Usually I try to. I try to not wing it as often as I can. Some weeks I try not to run stuff more than 3 weeks in a row at the same mic. Okay. If I'm doing 5 minutes, I don't want to do the same 5 minutes too many times. Yeah. Because then it bombs, and it's just because everybody's already heard it before.
Yeah, because there's a lot of comics in the audience, right?
Yeah, half the audience is comics. Yeah.
That's another benefit of course, being in a city like Austin, and I assume New York or LA, which I haven't been there yet, but I hear that it's great for comedy too. Is that I feel like you will get bored of your own material, so you have to also kind of like come up with new shit,
Yeah, that was the most So I helped a friend move to LA about a little over a year ago, and went to go to the store one night, and just the original room, and I saw like people that I had seen do, Netflix specials, running new stuff, and like bombing it, and not giving a shit. And that was like super eye opening for me. That like, if you do comedy every night, then like every set you can try stuff with like. Yeah. Like there's not a huge weight to it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there's also like I feel like there's like a line there that, because also, even though you do, of course, you do want to be trying new shit and, growing and all of that, you want to do it kind of like strategically too, because you don't want to be bombing all the time. Like, at least in my experience, I hate to bomb, right? Nobody likes to bomb. It's not really fun. Although sometimes, with the right mentality, it could be fun. But if I bomb like super hard, I'm probably gonna do like my 90% of my next set is probably gonna be what I consider my A material.
Yeah.
Because I wanna get like my confidence back.
Yep.
I feel like you sometimes right now have to be like your own coach. Mm-hmm. And again, maybe 5 years from now, I'm gonna look back at this and be like, oh shit, I was just so wrong in everything that I'm saying.
Yeah.
But right now, I'm really going by like instinct, and I feel like it's not good for me to be bombing, 2, 3, 4 times in a row. Yeah. Like I wanna get my self-esteem up.
Yeah, I mean, you're not. There's always like the fear that like you're gonna get stuck in the phase where you bomb it like 3 times in a row, but you always break out of it. But
With the right approach and mentality, time and experience will help you become a better comic. If you are sincere with you, because sometimes you see a comic go up, they did all right, and then they're like, man, that was a hard crowd, I fucking crushed. Mm-hmm. In your mind, I'm like, oh, he kind of bombed,
Yeah.
But that being said, I want to also be aware that doesn't happen to me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be thinking that I killed, and then in reality, it was not that level of laughter.
You record your sets to like combat that?
Well, yeah, I record my sets in audio at least. Yeah. It took me at the beginning, it was kind of tough because I hated like listening to myself.
I do too. Like that's why I started a podcast.
Yeah.
I hate listening to myself.
Right. But now I record at least audio, and then whenever I go from like one mic to another, I'm like I try to listen to it right there, and then as I'm either like walking to one, because in Austin you can walk from one mic to another, or if I'm driving, I'll put it in my car and listen to it, and then I try to re-listen to it maybe whenever I'm like. Maybe like at the end of like every 4 weeks or something, I re-listen to all my, or like I'll make little notes in the title. I'll be like good set or like new jokes. I'll make some little notes to know that I want to go back to that recording later.
Yeah. And
then like re-listen to it, and I'll make like little notes like this worked, this didn't work, blah blah blah. But again, that's what I find fun. The whole process.
Challenge.
Yeah, man. The reason I asked you if you prepare a set list is because I don't always do it. Really, I mean, I try to. I try to do for sure, like for big shows or whatever. I try to do a set list, but I've realized that whenever I go up without a set list, my set is not as good. And it doesn't mean like I have a set, like I write a set list and I do every joke in that set list. No, it's just like I find the little exercise of putting myself thinking, okay, what do I want to open with? What do I want to close with? And what jokes I want to do? That little exercise kind of like prepares me for going on stage. And maybe when I go on stage, I do totally different stuff. But that little exercise, I don't know, it really helps me in a way. Yeah.
So
So when you've always been here, right? Doing
Only
comedy.
done comedy out of here. Yeah.
Okay. Are you thinking about moving to somewhere else?
Yeah, I'm gonna. I mean, I have to eventually. It's the closest spot that people move to usually is DC. That's where people
Okay.
go if they want to get more stage time, develop. Some people, New York is a crazy move, but people are like I know a guy who was on a show with me in October who's from Lynchburg too, who's like moved to New York and he's doing pretty well. But other than that, I mean, New York, DC, pretty much around here is like the only place people. Yeah, no, I not single, but
Okay.
dating a girl that's down. She knows I want to move, so
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, man.
I'm trying to convince her to move to Austin, but she's not down with the whole abortion program there.
Oh shit. So she's thinking if she gets pregnant, she's not gonna be able to abort. Is that
or just I think it's more her that she doesn't like a government telling women what they can and can't do.
Yeah.
I think that's more of the thing for her.
Yeah, man. But I think you can. There are ways of killing that baby.
Stairs.
Yeah. No.
Lots of stairs in Austin.
I'll say she can. You guys can go to like Mexico or something like that, and then take care of that. But
They do. Are the abortions cheaper in Mexico like the other procedures are?
I assume. I mean, a lot of people think I'm Mexican, because of the way
Is it racist?
the way I look.
Yeah.
I have a big black cock.
Yeah.
But I'm not Mexican. That's gross. No, I'm from Venezuela. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how abortions work in Mexico, but I would assume they're probably cheaper and probably you can get them done. Maybe I don't know. I've never had an abortion.
Never.
No, I've always just given birth to all of my kids.
You have kids?
No.
Oh shit.
No, I don't.
You got me.
But I will say there's lots of beautiful girls in Austin.
Yeah.
So just leave her here. She's not the only girl that exists.
Yeah.
I'm sure you are emotionally connected to her and you feel nice and warm whenever you are inside of her, no pun intended.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, just if you really want to do comedy, move to Austin, New York, LA, maybe DC, big scene. I think you want to move to a place where you can go up every night.
Yeah.
Every night, as many times as possible. Because that's really, at the end of the day, what's going to help you, get better and all of this. Again, that being said, I've seen a lot of comics in Austin who go up a lot and they don't necessarily get better because I feel like sometimes we think, by just going up,
You're doing the work.
I'm doing the work and I'll come up with some funny shit on stage or whatever. But we also have to, and I'm guilty of that too. Sometimes I've been up 5 nights in a row, and I'm like, what the fuck? I've been working on nothing these past 5 days.
Yeah.
I've just been kind of partying and going up and thinking I've been productive because I went up on stage, 3-4 times in one night.
Yeah.
But really, I haven't been working on anything. I said this, whatever, because I was maybe drinking or whatever. I just went back to what material I feel that works, and I just kind of said it, and I didn't feel like I was really working on something.
Yeah.
But yeah, you wanna move to a place where you can go up a lot, get on stage a lot.
Yeah. I mean, I can. So when I was getting back into it, I didn't feel it as much. I wasn't doing well, so there was no chance to miss doing well, and now if I do a mic on Monday and I have to wait a week to do an open mic, I'm dying by the next
That's
Monday.
crazy, man. I was talking to some comic friends in Austin today.
Yeah.
And I was telling them I've been here for 3 weeks and I'm afraid because I've only gone up twice. I'm afraid of not doing comedy.
No, I don't think so. There was 2 weeks over Christmas and New Year's, those 2 weeks where like nothing was going on, and I didn't do comedy for like 2 whole weeks.
Yeah.
And I sucked for probably like four times,
Yeah.
just because like I hadn't done it in like 2 weeks or half a month, you know.
Yeah, it's easy to get rusty.
Yeah.
It's a cliche, but they say it for a reason. You know, it's like going to the gym. You know, if you're working out, whatever, you know, your muscles or whatever are gonna be ready. But
Yeah.
so gotta go up as much as possible. That's another thing in Austin. There's so many great comics that the competition is very high, and it makes you want to be better, makes you want to work harder, become a better comic.
Yeah.
All the comics, you know, we're always talking about comedy, and you know, if you really enjoy it and you love it, definitely that's one place to go. Selfishly, I will tell you not to move there because we already have too many comics.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I was you, I would definitely consider, and if not Austin, maybe to a bigger scene. But even if you stay here, I mean, you know, I've seen the comics here. They all seem like they have the right mentality. They're very hungry and passionate about comedy, and you guys can make things happen. It's just a matter of you know reaching out to you know bars, venues, whatever, get a show going, whatever it takes.
Yep.
That's another thing in Austin because there's so many comics, a lot of competition, and sometimes it's for some comics it's you know hard to get real like showcases because a lot of people that are running shows, they usually want to have you know the killers, right? The people that are fucking you know that you know the audience is gonna really enjoy, or they have like a big you know, I feel like everybody wants to like book, you know, like Cam Patterson and, you know, Hans and, you know, all these guys that are killing and all the door guys from Mothership. So for a comic that is kind of like maybe outside of Mothership or outside of the Kill Tony, you know, killer circuit, sometimes it's hard, even though they might be doing a lot of mics, sometimes it might be hard to get on some real shows in front of real, you know, audiences and things like that.
Yeah.
But because that happens and there's a lot of comics in Austin and the Austin audience is ready for comedy and they want comedy, lots of shows pop up too.
Yeah.
So there's always new shows, you know, being born in Austin and lots of other comics running shows, and it also becomes a, you know, makes you also work hard in that sense. Like, oh shit, they started a show.
Yeah.
And now look at them. Like now that person is getting a lot of real stage time because he decided or she decided that for themselves. So maybe I should start a show, you know?
Have you ever produced a show?
Yeah. I produce a show. I do not, if I had to choose, I would rather not run my show or produce a show because I just want to go up, you know, do comedy, have fun, don't worry about the logistics, you know, where people are sitting or how many, did we sell enough tickets or, you know, I have 100 messages from 100 different comics trying to get on my show. I don't want to do any of that shit. I just want to go up, you know, try to be funny. But that kind of started because of what I'm saying, you know. 2 years ago, I was not necessarily, you know, the top of the comics in my level, really getting maybe like the real work. And I was like, oh shit, maybe I should start a show, you know? So I partnered up with another comic and we found this great venue. We started doing one show every Saturday. This place, you can fit 100 people. Our first show, we probably had like 35 people. And then, you know, before we knew it, we were selling out that show. So we were having 100 people every show, you know, consuming a lot of alcohol at the bar. So it was good for the venue. And then it was a no-brainer for the venue. And then we started to do 2 shows in the same night. So we started doing 7 p.m., I think it was, and 10 p.m. And then we stopped doing that show. Well, we stopped doing that venue, but now we're doing the show at different clubs in Austin.
Yeah.
So right now, as I'm speaking here to you, we have a show going on at Black Rabbit. Shout out to Black Rabbit.
Very cool.
Yeah, Black Rabbit is a great room in Austin. It just opened not long ago. It's kind of like a hidden gem. It's underground, walking distance from 36. That's where like the main street in Austin, where Comedy Mothership, Sunset Strip Comedy Club, Creek and the Cave, the Velveeta Room. It's nearby all these other clubs, so you can just walk, do a spot there, go to other venues. It's a small room underground. It's dark, no windows. The walls are black. The sound system is pretty good. The people that run it, they're comics. So they know we're there to work shit out, to have fun. And that room, 50 people in that room is a great fucking workout place. It's also a really fun shows happen there, real audiences. And we're having a show there right now. But yeah, we do a show there at Black Rabbit. We do it at Sunset. We do it at Creek in the Cave. We are starting it at Velveeta Room. And all of this is really just to get real stage time, go up, and also give spots to other comics.
Yeah.
That's one thing that I liked about whenever we were running it at the previous venue, where we were doing 2 shows in one night. We were actually doing different lineups at the early show from the late show, because that allowed us to give more spots
awesome.
to more comics.
Yeah.
As a comic, it's pretty cool to do 2 shows one night at the same venue, because you're like, oh, cool, I did this here at the early show. Now I don't have to drive anywhere, and then I'll do another set at the late show. That's great. But because there's so many comics in Austin, we just figured it would be better just to do different lineups.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So you are you were born where? Where were you born? Lynchburg,
yeah.
Virginia.
Yep.
Okay. And so you until when were you there?
Still there.
Right. Okay.
Still fucking there. I moved. I lived in Colorado for about 3 months.
Okay.
Colorado Springs with a friend. For I guess like the early part of my 20s, my mom had dementia, so I stayed with my dad. My sister had already left the state to go to college, so I took care of her for a while. Mm-hmm. Then she died when I was 24, and she died after I'd started comedy, so I was 26, I think. Mm-hmm. And then I feel like that kind of made me feel stuck here. I was like a ball and chain.
Okay.
And then I got into a relationship, and I wanted to move after she died, and met a girl and stayed here. And then COVID happened, and that's another thing that fucking ruined the world for a year. And now I'm back kind of where I started. I've been doing it a solid year now. I want to get the fuck out of here as soon as possible.
This is a nice place. I like it.
I love.
Well, you're in Lynchburg, right? It's an hour from here. It's the same.
It's this. So Roanoke is, I guess, in the. It's not the Shenandoah Valley, but it's the Roanoke Valley. It's close. Lynchburg is foothills, I guess. So it's similar landscape. We don't have we have. Do you know what Liberty University is?
No, I have no idea.
Dude, let me enlighten you. Liberty is it's the biggest Christian college in the world. There's 20,000 or something students on campus and 100,000 off. So Donald Trump's old attorney, Michael Cohen, had 2 clients. It was Donald Trump and then the president of Liberty University.
Okay.
So I live in conservative Christian.
Oh paradise. Shit! All right.
The Duck Dynasty people sent their kids there.
Okay.
You're allowed to have guns in your dorm room.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
So anal sex only.
Only anal sex. You can soaking allowed.
Nice.
You just hang out.
Yeah, man. I've tried soaking a couple of times. It's pretty fun.
I thought that was just regular sex. I thought that's just what sex was. I thought
really?
You just put it in and hung out. Yeah.
So I I don't think if I was, because when I met you, I don't know if I watch you go up.
I don't know if you did. I think I did okay. That was like the first time that I was back from
Okay.
the holidays that I hadn't really like bombed. That was when I stopped
Okay.
eating dicks.
All
I was
right.
the first one to go up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, what is your comedy style? Is it like pretty clean because of the school that you went to and
No,
stuff?
so I didn't go there. I like it. So I grew up there.
Oh, you grew up
I
there.
grew up
Okay.
in the same town as the
Right.
school. So like
Okay.
I'm like the opposite of that. Like I'm fucking me and my friends all partied and
Yeah, yeah.
were idiots. We
You're
were 18 and
you're a bad
17s.
boy.
Yep, I'm a piece of shit. Um, but yeah, no, I'm the opposite of an Elliot.
So your comedy, what is it? It's just like pretty much all the shit,
Yeah, I mean, like I
sex,
try.
diarrhea,
Yeah, I don't.
dicks,
Yeah, a lot of dick and
abortions.
poop. Yeah, no,
Do you go dark or no?
I've gone dark. So the mic that I do in Charlottesville, it's not like there's no content restrictions, but it's UVA, so it's like a bunch of college kids, and they're sometimes not the best audience. They're not the most receptive to some stuff. So I've learned to not go too hard with the dark material.
Yeah.
But I would like to start doing it again, just because like that's
Right.
kind of like my natural writing style is like dark jokes, and like that's
Yeah.
what I pride myself on is
Yeah.
coming up with
Right. It's tough. Yeah, because like I feel like in comedy, right? Like you don't want to force a certain style.
yeah
You want to do whatever comes natural to you. And I feel like over the years, maybe your style is gonna change or whatever. And I'm just talking, from my own experience. But like I feel like I've been spoiled in Austin because it's they have a big comedy audience, so you could do like darker, edgy stuff,
yeah
and most of the people are gonna be on board, or at least give you enough feedback to, you could adapt the joke to make it work.
yeah
But I feel that's one thing I want to do is more comedy outside of Austin, because at the end of the day, you don't want to be just doing good at one location.
yeah. No, I mean you get, like I said, I could tell that you do a shit ton of comedy, and I could tell that you'd like hammered out the material that you did. But here it's like I don't know. Like would you consider that reaction the other night bombing, or would you consider that like a good set? Like just personally for you, like how'd that feel? Like were you okay with it?
So when I went up, there were maybe like 6 people in the audience.
Yeah, I mean it was dead.
It was 6 people in the audience.
Yeah,
And they had been here for what? What would you say?
2 hours probably.
For 2 hours,
Yeah.
right? They were probably ready to get the fuck out, but then they said, "Your last comic, one more." I know with the ladies that were sitting back here, I think it was a group of 3 or 4.
Yep.
I was doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong, And then the couple that was up front, they seemed, as soon as I moved into like the edgier stuff, they also, I think I kind of fucked up because, there were like these 3 or 4 ladies in the back and then the couple up front. And I tried to do some interaction with them. And I don't think they enjoyed that.
Yeah, no, I mean,
They didn't want to be fucked with.
yep.
So as soon as I said, you guys role play or something like that, or I could sense from the guy that he didn't want to be involved in the whole like interacting.
Yeah.
So how would I call that? I don't know. It's an open mic. I did pretty okay. I feel like I tried a lot of new lines and jokes that I've done before in different ways. And I got a good sense of the audience. I didn't crush, of course. Also, 6 people is kind of hard to.
Dude, yeah. No, like
But
no, before you continue talking about how like not great it was. That's like for me. I mean, I don't live in Austin, so I don't get to see like the greats go up every night. But like top 5, I want to be. I was gonna say top 3, but I don't want to be a dick to the people around here. Top 5 like open mic sets I've ever seen. Like you're a fucking killer.
Oh,
like,
thank you, man.
It like impressed. Like I don't get impressed at open mics very often. And I'm not trying to be a dick. It's just they suck. And like if somebody's good, then they're good. It's very rare to find somebody who's like an actual killer.
I appreciate that,
Yeah.
and I feel like when I was on stage, because it was those 6 people and then some comics, right? Mm-hmm. So I think I saw you, and I think you were with your girlfriend. Was that your girlfriend?
No, dude, that's Zach Acid. That's a man with long red hair.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Yeah, it was weird that you guys were making out. But, so I think I was getting some positive, like, facial, I guess, reactions from you, but I didn't know you were a comic.
Okay.
So as trying new lines and shit like that, you try to use everything to your benefit. You're like, okay, what, if they didn't laugh out loud or whatever, how was like their facial expressions or whatever, Sometimes you can almost gauge, maybe that's those are more like internal notes because you're not gonna be able to catch that in the audio, but it's more like, okay, so I tried that line and you got that like facial reaction. They seem like they like it. Maybe there's something there. Maybe I keep doing it.
Yeah.
But man, I appreciate I'll take it as a compliment. I appreciate that.
Dude, yeah, it's a 100% compliment. Like I felt like the audience did you fucking dirty. It made me mad. Like you can't control how people react, but just like as a comedian.
Yeah, but again, we're talking about 6 people.
Yeah.
And the ones that I feel that did me dirty in this case were 2.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, you're right. It's almost 50% of the audience.
Yeah.
But I mean, 6 people. It's an open mic. Really, I wanted to just go up.
Yeah.
I just wanted to go up. And that said, I did not take it serious at all. But, I was here. I was happy to be out of the hotel. I was getting a drink, but I did prepare a set list, and I had some shit that I wanted to try, some things that I wanted to do in different ways.
Good.
But yeah, man, even in Austin, you get weird audiences, different audiences. Sometimes it varies on the night, I've seen also great comics maybe not do as great as they usually do some nights. And as a comic, if you want to protect your self-esteem, a lot of times we blame the audience. They're like, oh, fucking assholes. They didn't have a sense of humor.
Yeah.
But then, if you keep doing obviously the same joke 3 times and it's fucking bombing, then it's like, oh shit, I need to change something, or you don't want to be bombing all the time. But yeah, I had fun. It was a good mic.
Yeah. No, I don't. As a comedian, you're an idiot if you get mad at crowds like habitually. Like if that's a thing you do regularly, you probably like aren't very reflective, and you probably don't improve very much. But like when I see other people. I'm not any kind of fucking authority on comedy, but like I know what shitty comedy is and I know what good comedy is, and when I see people not reacting to good comedy, like it makes me like mad for way too mad.
Yeah, I mean maybe also because you are a comic, even if you've been there for 2 hours, you hear a joke, and then it makes sense in your mind and you think that's funny, so you like it, but as an audience member, like, I don't care who you are. Some people, after 2 hours, you just want to go and get the fuck out of there. Like, you cannot. Words are not making sense anymore. Mm-hmm. And I have this fucking weird, Mexican accent, you know. So it's like, what the fuck? Fuck, I want to get the fuck out of here.
I think that was a little bit of it. I think, like, it being, like, middle of fucking nowhere, if some people had trouble understanding your accent, that was part of it.
Yeah, which I need to remember myself to sometimes go slower when I'm on stage, trying to articulate words. Because if I get too excited, I might go too fast. And then even myself, I go to my recording and I'm like, what the fuck? I don't understand myself. So how can I expect the audience to understand me? Sometimes, in my case, I might have a funny line, if the audience didn't understand it, then you're fucked. You have to be able to go slower and communicate to the audience, especially with my condition.
You do.
I'm retarded.
Yeah. You're from. Never mind. I'm not gonna go there. But so, do you still speak Spanish like regularly? Like do you speak Spanish every day?
Depends. Depends if I talk to my family.
Yeah.
Every day. Well, I talk to my sisters, my mom, my dad in Spanish.
I feel like people who speak English think Spanish is a very fast language.
Yeah.
Do you think that's true? Do you think you have to slow down when you speak English to like not cross the two up?
I didn't think about it like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen people speak English very fast.
Oh yeah. Especially here and like north of here. Like the further north you get, the faster people talk.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even I went to London once. Not bragging, but I remember I got in a taxi cab and the guy was talking so fast. I did not understand what he was saying.
Oh yeah, they have the dialect is fucking insane there.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm watching a movie, also like in that weird British accent. No, but sometimes I'm watching it and I'm with someone who their first language is English, and I'm like, do you understand what he said, or is it just me being English as a second language? And they were like, no, I didn't understand.
You're like, yeah, no, it's
what that person said. So I'm like, okay, good. But yeah, my thing with English is I need to slow down. I need to articulate, because as a comic, you need the audience to understand what you're saying.
I have to slow myself down, and I only speak English. Mm-hmm. So that's a problem I have too.
Yeah, I feel like for most comics, we like when we start comedy, I don't know if it's because we are nervous or we go way too fast. Mm-hmm. So something I've realized, when you watch whoever, like any big comic, they tend to be confident in their sets. They know they're gonna get laughs, so they're not rushing. They are, they are taking their time. They are delivering their lines.
Yeah.
They are kind of like, they're like they're not like rushing into like but I sometimes I'm like, oh, I think I talk way too fast, or like I listen to my recording and I'm like, what the fuck did I say? And I feel like I'm doing that here in this podcast.
Yeah, no, you're fine. But how much of your life did you like spend like, how long were you alive knowing zero English? Like, what age?
So zero. I'll say it was zero because I knew, like my name is Francisco.
Yeah.
And like yellow, blue, red,
Yeah.
And 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
But yeah, not being good at, like not really speaking English until. So we moved to the United States, to Miami, Florida, which I don't know if that's considered the United States.
I was gonna say you barely moved to the United States.
Exactly. So we moved to Miami when I was 13, and I remember my dad telling me, "Oh, it's gonna be great. You're gonna learn English." As a 13-year-old boy, you're like, "Why do I need to learn English when?" You don't care about learning a new language.
You just learn how to talk like a Cuban.
Exactly. Yeah. And Miami, the worst place to learn English. Also, I was placing ESL class, which is English as a second language. So what happens there is all of my classmates who then become my friends speak only Spanish.
Yeah.
So I'm not learning English. So, I mean, to your question, bro, I think I really got fluent in English maybe maybe like a junior year in high school.
Holy shit.
But I will say, and it happened faster than most people in Miami because like people that started ESL with me at the same time, I feel like they did not advance that fast. Even my sister is my same age.
Yeah.
And her English is even, she has an even thicker accent. Her English is, I would say, probably 3 to even 5 levels down from where my English is. And I think the reason I was able to learn English faster, relatively speaking, in Miami, is because I play baseball, and then everyone in the baseball team actually spoke English.
What position?
So I am left-handed, and as you know, I am very short. So I'm short. I'm 5'7". So that's not a good mix for baseball because
Not first base.
with being a left-handed in baseball, your positions are gonna be limited. You're not able to play shortstop, third base, whatever. But anyways, I play outfield, mainly center field, and pitcher.
Nice.
Yeah.
Were you like being scouted by any colleges? Were you doing good?
I was pretty good, man.
Yeah.
I won like whatever, like MVP in my team, like senior year, and I hit like the most like home runs in my team and all of that. But I didn't get any serious like like D1 or anything crazy like that. I did get some scholarship offers for like D2 or lower private colleges. You know.
That's crazy.
But I decided to stay in Miami to go to FIU. My being a Venezuelan, which is very rich in petroleum, and seeing family members and friends, parents and stuff be like engineers, it seemed like I didn't know what I wanted to study, and at the time it seemed like okay, well. It seems like if I pursue engineering, that will make my parents satisfied,
Yeah.
So I chose to just study mechanical engineering. And I remember I was supposed to go to the tryout at FIU. So I go to the baseball field, and then the coach tells me, oh, you have to go to fucking whatever building to get like your physical done and sign like some forms or whatever before you do the tryout. And the building was like maybe like a 12-minute walk. And in my walk there, my friend calls me and he's like, oh, let's go drink, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
I go drinking, and I didn't go to the tryout.
Dude, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
I have similar. I didn't play baseball in high school. I played baseball up until high school, but I like was fat and retarded, and I sucked at it. So I didn't make the junior varsity team. So I like picked up tennis.
Okay.
Because I didn't know what else to do as a white person. I was like, I guess this is our thing. I started tennis, and then golf.
Okay.
But then I went to community college, and my friend who he was a great pitcher. Like he could throw 90. He was a fucking solid. He was like a solid college prospect, but he would just like to party.
Right.
And,
bro, that will fuck you up.
we went to one community college baseball practice, and just for the second one, I picked him up to go to the community college baseball practice, but we just got high instead. And
Yeah, man.
so we did.
I feel like partying, alcohol, drugs, that takes most people out.
It makes good comedians. Athletes.
Yeah. But even in comedy, sometimes I see a lot of people are doing some crazy shit, and I'm like, oh, weren't you supposed to do a spot at this show or whatever? And
Yeah,
it's like,
I mean,
oh yeah, I
that's,
didn't feel like it tonight or whatever. So it's it's easy to go with the vices and drink, gamble, do all the drugs, all of that stuff.
yeah.
My thing right now is alcohol. Trying to don't drink as much, but yeah, right now I'm thinking about getting another beer.
Yeah, dude, you gotta.
But
I think last call's 9:40, so if you
oh
wanna,
shit.
we can wrap up too. I mean, we've been going forever, but dude, thank you.
So last call is 9:40.
I think.
Well, let
Usually.
me get a beer. I
Yeah.
mean, you can pause it.
Yeah, man.